Hey everyone. Welcome to In the Family Room where love, faith, and family realign. I am your host, Traci Wade. We are so excited to dive into another discussion, another recording. We are dealing with a series right now as it pertains to relationships within the family unit. And today, I have some more of my favorite individuals. I have my siblings, two of my siblings, on with me today. I'm going to introduce them to you all. Um, I do have a total of four siblings, but I have two of them on tonight, and I am so excited to have them on and to dive into this discussion. Listen, I'm just going to keep it real light. Let me tell you, let me just give the disclaimer now. We are some clowns. I don't know what's going to happen on this recording. We're going to be real. We're going to be raw. We're going to be transparent because that's just who we are as a family. And so, first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my brother. He is literally my only blood brother. There was a total of four kids, three girls and one boy. God bless him. So you're going to hear from him. He has Uncle Nate up there because that's just kind of the nickname that we have, but his name is Nate. And so we're excited to have him on. And then last but not least is my baby sister. She is the youngest of the bunch, Miss Andrea Campbell, Wade Campbell. Hey guys,
Hello.
Hey,
y'all excited to rock out with me?
we just never know what to expect from you, so
I'm excited.
Hey,
I think so.
that's your excited face.
you think so?
I think so.
That's my excited face. I I am so grateful that I have the siblings that I have. I really am because we have learned so much from each other. We have gone through so much as a family, and I'm thankful for the bond that we have. And the topic for tonight is called Blood Talks, a sibling sit down. And so I really wanted to just kind of dive into just certain dynamics about our relationship, things that we've gone through as siblings. And then I want to get your thoughts on some other things as it pertains to the sibling relationship and why this we when it comes to relationships within the family, there are a lot of trauma as it pertains to not necessarily trauma, but just you hear a lot of discussions about mothers and sons, mothers and daughters, sons. And, you hear a lot about parents, right? But you don't quite get you don't see a lot of discussions about this relationship, the sibling relationship. And I believe that the sibling relationship is so essential because it represents like the next generation before the parents. And so what these siblings do, like what they learn and what they take impacts generations to come, if that makes sense. And I sent you both a video a couple of months ago. I don't know if you had an opportunity to watch it. Andrew, I think you did. And it was a video, a teaching from a very well known apostle. And the name of this teaching, the title of this teaching, it was called The Divine Design, Figuring Out the Family. And I really was intrigued by this teaching. And one of the things that he hit on, and I'm going to share it, he said that siblings are supposed to support, surround, strengthen, serve. They are accountable. They are honor givers. Help. They help, and they are healers. Like that. That is the totality of what we should be doing in our relationships as a siblings. And I just kind of want to get you guys' feedback in regards to what are your thoughts on that. And we can start. We can start with Andrea.
Are you asking me if I agree with him or if I can identify with what
No,
he's
no, you don't necessarily agree, but do any of those Any
Resonate.
of those things, do any of them resonate with you? Do you feel like these are things? Should siblings surround themselves with each other? Should they bring strength? Should they serve? That's what I mean.
Oh, so let's take it one by one. Surround sometimes. I think in our dynamics, we go in doses. It's not like all the time. But I think it is
Mm-hmm.
necessary for us to connect periodically. And we're really good about when it's too long. When it's too long, it's like, okay, now we need to come see you. I need to touch you. I need to smell you. Yeah. And we are intentional about making that happen. What was the other one, Tracy?
Strengthen, serve, accountable. You can hit on three of
Yeah.
those. Honor.
Oh my God, serve and honor is hand in hand. And I think that amongst us, that's that's a natural thing that just naturally happens. I think we are always concerned about each other, almost to a fault.
Yeah.
Nate is agreeing because we will come in a space and we would say, Nate, no, let's fix this. We're gonna move this around and we're gonna, you want this to smell like
Yeah.
Downy? We can make this smell like Downy if you like it. He'll be like, I wasn't thinking that, but if that's what you want. And he just lets us I mean, he has a wife now, so we can't be too overbearing. But prior to that, it's feeding him and Tracy feeding me making sure I serve them for Christmas. Like, I think it's an innate nature, and I think that has to do with our parents and how they raised us. Um, they were subservient; they served a lot, so I think we just kind of like adapted it. Um, yep. The string thing is can I this is my last one. I'm not doing no more, Nate. You gotta take over from here. The strengthening part is definitely I will honestly say that from my experience, if it wasn't for my older siblings, I in other words, I appreciate the way that you all strengthen me. I appreciate it because it's not always done in love. I mean, no, it's always done in love. I apologize. It's always done in love, and it's whether I want to hear it or not. It's correcting. You show love through feedback. You give me feedback and you show up even when fight it. Like I may not want you to show up and you're just like, nope, I'm coming. You need this. And then sometimes you know when to back off. And that I feel like that's strength
Yeah.
too. You know when to tap out. Um,
Yeah.
I just get affirmed so much by you all. Um, in encouraging ways, in ways of correction, right? But the correction is always in love. It's can I suggest this to you? Or can I give you a different point of view?
Mm.
Or like that's how it comes, right? And it's a level of wisdom that only my siblings can do. Like my siblings can y'all are able to see me and you're able to affirm me and you're able to redirect me all in one statement or two statements. It's so eloquently done. And again, that I know that's not normal for other people and their siblings, so I don't take it for granted. But I
Mm.
personally appreciate that part of our relationship.
Nate, you wanna chime in?
Yeah. So I did watch the video that you shared with me, and it was a pretty good teaching. Um, and I think in the spirit that he was delivering that teaching, he was providing a vision for families to establish norms or a culture through generations on like what's the norm of our family and what's the norm of sibling relationships as it relates to each other. And I don't think he was trying to communicate like in imposed expectations, because we don't live in that reality. Like we don't live in the reality
Yeah.
that siblings are going to strengthen us. We don't really live in the reality that siblings are going to support us. Like that's not how God puts families together. right? So
Mm-hmm.
I believe God was using him to so that using him to provide information to families on how to create culture and how to create norms within generations on how, for example, how siblings should treat each other. You know what I mean? Like if the parents aren't establishing the expectations of the sibling relationship, then anything kind of goes. And I think his teaching was going towards how to establish and heal from some traumas and some things. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean that that sibling is going to line up with those with strength, with support, with love and nurturing and surrounding. That ain't going to be the case. God puts us in
What?
family.
Why not? Why not? I have to ask. Why do you feel like? Is this something that? Why do you feel like this is something that siblings cannot attain to?
Yes, I do think it's something that siblings can attain to, and I think he was trying to teach parents how to establish those norms and those
Mm,
expectations of siblings.
mm,
But they're not going
yeah,
to naturally come into the world and be
I
supportive,
get what you're
and
saying now.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah,
That like
yeah.
by you know, it even by establishing those doesn't mean that throughout an entire lifetime a sibling is going to conform to that, but they'll at least know they're
Gotcha.
wrong or they ain't acting right. You know what I mean? I'm just, and I'm okay
Gotcha.
with that because at the end of the day, what God is trying to teach us is, trusting Him, pray, do what you can, and give it all to Jesus in prayer. You know what I mean? Like leave it at the altar. Like as siblings, we can operate in those roles when we know it's going to heal from trauma, when we know it's going to produce the fruits of the spirit and the things that are going to be beneficial. We can operate and we can grow into those roles. We don't come here like that, but we could grow into them as long as that's a culture and things like that. But at the end of the day, if that's not being reciprocated or if that is not where we're at, like you you kind of gotta let you kind of gotta let people be where they at. You know what I mean? Um, and that's
Yeah,
probably not what he was trying to deliver, but that's my take on it. My take on it was that he was teaching from a place of how do we break these generational curses? How do we create an environment that's healthy and that will produce healthy people? I think that's where he was
correct.
teaching from. But the reality is your siblings ain't coming in that nice little package. It just don't work like that.
But I feel like for the most part, most of what he outlined, we have in our relationship. So I think that I think it just depends on the family.
Right.
It
That's
depends on
and
the
that's
family. Andrew said something that was very cute. We had great examples. We had our parents that they set a certain example in regards to what serving looks like. That's the biggest one that sticks out for me is serving. So
well.
yeah,
I think it's very important to also point out to your point is that our parents and everything with everything we went through, nobody's perfect, right? But everything we went through, our parents established that these are the expectations. Like you're gonna do what's right,
yeah,
and it wasn't just our
yeah, yeah,
parents. It was
yeah,
Bishop
yeah.
Morris, Miss
Our
Marge. It
village,
was the whole church.
our
It was
village.
people.
Yeah,
It was the neighbors. It was the whole village had the same. Auntie Mackie. Everybody was on the same page. Like, I wish you would. You gonna do what? And they set that
yeah.
expectation of behavior.
Yeah,
They set that
He called
expectation.
all.
yeah, he did.
Did you hear him
Miss
call
Newton,
all
Called
the
the
Mr.
village.
names?
Newton, all
Anyway,
of them.
okay, we're gonna move. We're gonna move on a little bit. We're gonna talk a little bit about our family history, and I want to talk about the siblings of our parents and what that looked like in regards to. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because sometimes that's what we have as an example as it pertains to siblings. Like that's like our first example as children, right? And so, dad was the baby of 10. He was the youngest. And mom was the oldest girl of what, seven? Seven. I think it's seven. Um, and the dynamics of both sets of siblings were, there's some similarities and then there's some things that are completely opposite. I would say that the similarity was that one of the similarities that I noticed was that most of the girls on mom, well, I want to hit the girls on mom's side of the family, they seem to be very close. They stuck together. Whereas the boys on mom's side of the family, they all left. They ended up leaving South Florida, which is where our family is from. And then on dad's side of the family, um, there were some that relocated outside of the area, but the majority of them were still in Orlando where we grew up. But we also know that one of the things that happens on that side of the family is that there's distance. There's this rooted unforgiveness where siblings are not talking to each other, and so we witnessed that as as siblings grow. I would say probably, yeah, like by the time we were like teenagers going into our adult years. I think you guys were teenagers, but I think I was an adult by the time we started seeing this. What have you all learned from the previous generation? And oh gosh, okay. What have you all learned from the previous generation?
Can,
If you can
can I say, I
kind of
think
stay, yeah,
I think that the similarities between mom and dad, what they both were generational changers. Both of them. Mom was a generational changer as far as her belief system. She
yeah,
pushed away from what her family was doing and became a believer of Christ. And she was insistent upon us in our togetherness, right? Because of Christ.
right.
That's what Christ is about. He's about
Mhm.
love. Dad also aligned with mom because he's a generational changer because he saw the division in his siblings and he co-signed or partnered with mom to make sure that we also love one another. So both of them were on a mission to make
That's good,
sure
Tria.
that their kids stuck together, stayed together, had each other's back. We reconciled in love. They pushed those biblical principles to change the game from what they were coming from, the backgrounds they were coming from. And I appreciate that. Go ahead, Nate.
Nate,
Yeah, I think that I think for me it was two parts. It was the observation. Well, maybe three. It was the observation of primarily dad siblings because I mean from I wasn't really around mom siblings that much, but when I was, it seemed dope. It seemed pretty cool. And with dad siblings, it was cool too. It was cool as well. But I also witnessed, when you hang around people, you get to see, imperfections, perfect imperfections, that type of stuff. So to make a long story short, for me, it was in phases. It was observations of how siblings treat each other. Um, and then in order for me to transition into adulthood, it was the forgiving of what I saw as those imperfections. It's just forgiving, human beings are where they're at and they're doing what they're doing. And then it was the observation after I could forgive, it was the observation of what's the more healthier way to approach sibling relationships. So I went through kind of those two phases with a transition in the middle.
that's good. That's good. One of the things I definitely will say, because you're right, we more so grew up around our father's side of the family more than we did our mother's side of the family. And one of the things that I'm definitely grateful for from dad's side of the family is the gift of laughter. I remember growing up and we would be at grandma's house and all of the siblings would be together and they would just be cutting up. And we just looking at kids because we can't join in. And and that gift, because I feel like it is a gift. That gift that gift. I'm just thinking about some things. It transferred to the next generation because you get all of us cousins together. Oh my gosh, it's a whole thing, you guys. It's a whole thing, and it's the same way with my siblings as well. Let me stop this recording. You gonna see my brother-in-law Brian coming in from out of nowhere, and him and Nate are gonna be cutting up. And if my sons are on, it's just a whole thing. And so I am grateful for the gift of laughter, because I have been around some dry families. Hello,
Me too.
you walk in, it's just they're boring. I can at least our family is not
Be like, oh, okay.
not boring. It's not boring. You know what I'm saying? Like we know how to laugh, and we know how to have a great time. And so I am definitely grateful for that. Um, I'm going to shift into some childhood memories. Um, Nate, what's your earliest memory of us? Look at his face.
Yeah, he don't know.
I did like to
I don't even know what you're talking about.
wait. That's the earliest memory is us. I did like to play with your GI Joe. I will own that.
You're supposed to start something with something pleasant. You're not supposed to go right into the crimes.
What was
Look.
What was dramatic about it in that thing? I
How
did
did
take
that
care of
happen?
all of you
Who
guys.
allowed you to-
Look, okay, so I had chicken pox when I was a baby, and then one of you all got chicken pox, and it started spreading. And mom couldn't take off from work. Dad had to go in as well, and so they left me. I was in middle school. They left me to take care of you guys. I took
Lord,
care of
they
Nate.
didn't
I
know.
took care of you.
Lord forgive them. They did not know what they did.
Back then, you could do that. Back then, you could do that. They weren't coming for you. They weren't trying to put you in jail. I probably was like, I may have been in fifth grade or sixth grade.
They
I
gave you
I was young. I
that was
was not
too much power. It went all in her head, y'all.
pause.